So it was a real honor to be here with the Navy SEAL instructors. We were able to work different kind of takedowns that are really efficient and emanate from more of a judo-based background. So now let's get into it. Where a lot of throws emanate from foot sweeps, trips. Like I could use a lot of Japanese terminology, but throws that emanate from judo more or less, rather than using your arms, which sometimes becomes a lot more efficient. Using your foot or your leg to reap and entangle to get the proposed takedown, rather than level changing and going underneath someone, right? I would say if we were all under 20, I would say blast doubles for everyone, but we're not. So let's use a little bit more efficient means. So in this game, both of our feet are going to be off the mat. So one of his feet and one of my feet will go left foot first, and my goal is to get his foot to touch the mat, not his back to hit the mat. Right? I'm not trying to throw him so much as build up strength on my supporting foot. So if everyone here is right-handed, is everyone here right-handed? Yeah. Pretty much. Your left foot is your jam. That's the foot you got to get really good on to use your right foot as a foot sweeper or as a thrower. Okay? So we're going to do both sides just to have balance, right? We'll start with our right. So my goal in this 30-second go is to get his foot to the mat. So hajime. So I want to wrist control. I want to maybe attack this foot and make that foot step down. I think keeping your foot in front of you keeps you more balanced than your foot behind you and head heavy to snaps. So kind of use this as a counterweight and as like your satellite probe for imbalances. So if I'm reaped in and hooking here, try not to fall down to make this takedown happen. Try and lift your leg behind you. These are just concepts that come out through this gameplay a lot more realistically than like do 20 takedowns on your own of this move. So just kind of feel yourself. If you're gonna go, go. Put your hand down, put your foot down, fold your butt safely. Try not to pull them on top of you as a desperation move. Just we don't want any entangled injuries. So if you're going, go. So if we're on our left foot, which most of you should really focus on this side, hajime, we want to like use our foot as a trip or snap. I got a point. So building up that dexterity and balance on that one foot. Make sense? We're going to do a 30-second go. So make sure to stretch your hammies in between these, okay? They will get tired. Yeah, good. That's a point. Oh, that foot touch, there's a point. 30 seconds. Use your foot to use as a pillow, satellite. Use it as a push. Take it. Nice Bobby. Score with it, Bobby. Good. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and time. Of our break fall before we do any takedowns today, okay? So we're gonna do about 5 minutes worth of how to breathe out, tuck your chin, slap the mat, so that when we do hit the mat, it's no big deal. And I think that's something that's undertrained and valued in grappling, other than judo. Judo, that's the basis of which the whole sport emanates from, is like safe falling, because it's binary. Both people are gonna get to go. Like, it's reciprocal in a way where if I throw you, you're gonna throw me, and that's how we get better. It's hard when one person doesn't know how to fall, and that's our methodology, right? So we're gonna start by just rolling to our back, tucking our chin, slapping the mat, and breathing out all at the same time. So when we slap the mat, try and keep your hands connected in front of you as long as possible. Try not to like have that as your instinct. Have this. Slap the mat and tuck your chin. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so more important break fall, the side break fall, where we land on one side or the other based on which side they throw us with. So presumably, since everyone's right-handed here, the more important break fall to learn is slapping with your left hand. But we're gonna do both sides, but just so you know and can take note, that when you slap with your left-handed, that's the predominant side you're gonna fall today. Because everyone here is gonna be throwing right-handed, okay? So we'll start on our right, and you see I'm like almost at the end of a shrimp, where my left foot is flat, knee facing the ceiling, right leg along its side, not bent. My right hand is gonna slap the mat. We're just gonna do 10 of these without moving. So I'm gonna have my left hand on my abdomen, and I'm gonna slap coming across my far shoulder, slap the mat and breathe out at the same time, and then come back to square one. Okay, we'll do that 10 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 10. Okay, perfect. Now, we're gonna rotate side to side. I'm gonna lift my feet and land instinctually the same every time is the goal. Right? I don't wanna roll over my back and cross my legs or hit my ankles or slap up here, right? I don't want to dislocate my shoulder. I don't want to hit my knees together. I don't want to hurt my knee by crossing over. You see how every time I'm in the same kind of end of shrimp position, right? So I'm going to rotate, and that's the position every time. Because when we take these falls, like Bobby's going to throw me with a hip toss. Just a nice easy hip toss. Right? This is the position. I'm fine. If I didn't land like this, I don't know. It would be rough. So we want to be able to practice these things safely. Otherwise, we're not going to do it very far for very long. Okay? So we'll start on our right side. We're going to rotate, and that's one. So every time your hand's on your abdomen, you're slapping the mat, and you're kind of in this crimped position. Try not to be too straight. Try and have this little like 7 we're making with our bodies. The end of a shrimp. Slapping right next to your knee, not up here. Right? Okay. Everyone to your left side first, from our right side. Ready? 1. Try to cross those legs. 2. 3. 4. 27. 28. 29. 30. All right, good job. You have passed the break fall test. So now we can move on. But now the real trick is doing it instinctually without missing a beat, right? Not being late on our break fall. So we're just gonna do a basic hip toss first, okay? Ogoshi, major hip throw, but we're gonna do it from a certain situation, okay? Rather than just like aimless, do a hip toss. Okay, I'm gonna set you up like Karl Malone, John Stockton, nice assist, okay? So I have my over-under pummel, and since most of you are righty, let's get to our left side when we do this. So I'm on a left under and a right over. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna punch my left shoulder. I'm gonna creep under with my right hand, and I'm gonna step in the hole with head position. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave this little hole open for his pummel. When he pummels, I grab that tricep. Now look at it, we're perpendicular, and I have an arm, and I have that tight wrist, right? So I'm here, I punch my shoulder, I T-Rex hand through, and I step in the hole with head position. Now I'm giving up this underhook as a trap a little bit, and I grab that tricep. Now I'm pivoting my feet, rotating my hips, bowing and turning until this perfect ukemi break fall is reached. A good hip toss, a good break fall, we're safe to do a next one, right? So now Bobby's gonna go as a lefty, as a righty here. He's gonna pummel, right? I'm gonna pummel under, he's gonna grab my triceps. There's my break fall, right? So just be redundant and try and make this as slim as possible. Don't add movements or steps. Realistically, I'm taking like 1.5 steps throughout this whole move. So if I'm on this side, I'm punching my shoulder. I'm pummeling, I step in the hole. And now my entry is a half a step, if anything. I hold on, I rotate and pivot. Bow and turn. Holding on to this tricep the whole time, putting my waist hand on the mat. I don't want to get caught up into rolling over him and getting swept when I do the throw. So make sure your right hand that comes on that from that seatbelt goes to the mat as a stopper. And when we develop a good like balance and understanding of how your hips should be mechanically and how this throw should work, I'm okay with you falling with them. But for now, we want to protect them and let them get that basic break fall down with no injuries. Right? I don't want to be able to fall over them, right? You see how my hand came out? Now I'll be able to kind of settle and rotate. All good? On 3, 1, 2, 3. If you feel like you're getting value out of these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. And now back to the video.
Pigeon toed like that. Okay. You see how it's like not like a step.
Gotcha.
He's like just a rotate, and then now it's just like bow, and I'll just like slide off the back.
I was doing like step.
And I mean, no, I did.
Just step in.
Everyone does it like that because when you first learn, you're like, I just want to get under him. You don't trust the pivot yet.
Arm coming through. Now look at the space for my hips. Do you see how like, if I'm not pulling this, if it's down here, it's hard to like have mobility in my hips. But the second I get him to his toes, now look, watch out real quick. Set, bow and a turn. Good, look at that fall. Look at that fall. Yes. Now step forward with your right foot in between. Good. Now he's gonna pummel with his left hand. You let it happen. Now you rotate, pivot, and do your big doggy. Very good. Not bad. Good. Good job. Good job, everyone. Everyone gets a passing grade for their break fall and their hip toss, okay? More importantly, the break fall. Like, man, we can't do any of this stuff if we don't know how to fall. Because everyone gets hurt, and then what are we doing here, right? We might as well just hit each other with our hands and heads, right? Okay, so now we're gonna practice a one-footed throw. Right, this sets the basis up for a lot of two-footed throws. Seonagi, Ogoshi, Koshi Groma, I know that's all Japanese terminology, but being able to do like a head and arm throw, being able to do a hip toss, being able to do a one-arm shoulder throw. It's all the same with our hips and feet. So you could cross over what you just learned into multiple techniques just by the basis of your footwork, your hip center of gravity, and the position you are when you bow and you turn. But now we're hitting kind of a different strata. We're gonna be on one foot. As I said, most of you are right-handed, so that means you wanna reap and trip and sweep with your right foot while your left foot keeps the balance. So it's a little bit, the opposite of what counterintuitive, where your left foot's the one that's gotta do most of the work, even though you're right-footed or right-handed, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna line up with Bobby with head control and tricep control, okay? I'm gonna step over Bobby's ankle, just like this, Achilles to Achilles. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pull him to me, I'm gonna slide my left foot under my head, and I'm gonna turn my right toe inwards. So those three things. So we're here, here. Now I'm gonna bow and I'm gonna lift my leg, and as a partner, be okay getting your leg lifted. If I lift his right foot behind me, as a partner, be okay balancing on that left foot. We're gonna put each other down nice until we don't. And then the slap happens, the chin tuck and the perfect ukemi, which we've already mastered, right? So I bow and I lift this leg behind me, and I'm finishing with my hand on the ground on one foot, holding onto a tricep. The more you do that, the more you're gonna learn how to be comfortable throwing humans on one foot with multiple techniques, rather than just this one Osoto Gari, a major outer reaping throw, right? So I'm locked horns. Not the most realistic scenario, but I want you to get comfortable in here rather than like flat-footed trying to push him over your leg. Get okay pulling in. You see, I'm not like grabbing his trap or neck. I'm kind of pulling his head to me. You see that? Like, I want his head over my shoulder. I don't want to go to him. Now I'm up on his hip loaded, where I'm going to go to my back most likely. So whoever wins the head here wins below the hip, usually. So when I kind of start out here, that's my drill, to pull him into me. Turn my toe inwards, kind of loading and cocking the gun, which is my hip. Now I bow and turn, putting my hand on the mat at the end, lifting my leg, kind of finishing balanced, not on top of him, not on my knee. I don't want to fall first, and just understanding that kind of control, rather than like pushing him over my leg and hopefully they fall. Everything here is pull. You may think it's like a clotheslining push. That's going to be more intuitive. But if you want to get the understanding, full capacity of this technique, like if I'm just chopping this leg, I'll be able to get the throw. I never pushed him over my leg. I never put my foot back down. Those are just common mistakes. People are gonna, maybe like, they're gonna keep their balance every time, okay? So make sure when you reap in, and our entry is important too. We might be able to hook our way in and hop and pull and kind of do multiple things at the same time. But for now, our Achilles are crossed. We're kind of far away. I'm gonna pull him to me and slide my supporting foot under my head. So I'm here and I'm here. Turn my toe in, cocking the gun. Now I just slowly bow and turn, right? Holding on to him, putting my hand on the mat. So keep your balance. It's gonna be a little learning curve possibly, but you should be fine. Like if Bobby has the same technique on me, he's gonna bow and turn and lift his leg the same way. Easy, right? We just do our break fall and we're fine. Tuck our chin, breathe out, keep your eyes open. Don't reach for the mat for your arm or with your elbow. That's where shoulders get injured. So step over, pull into you. Good. Easier on your body a little bit. No, that still sucks. If you start doing this, you're probably gonna hold him up and not throw him because you're actually keeping him from falling. Because your hip is in the way, your leg is in the way. You got that like dog peeing vibe going, right? Rather than turning your toe, coiling your toe and foot so your knee and your hip are rotated. So that when you throw, they fall and slide off your hip rather than you holding them up. Okay. Get your right hand on that when you finish, breathe out. Try again. Step over, pull him to you. Slide that left foot closer to him. Slide that left foot of yours. There you go. Now bow and turn. Lift that leg up. Good. Much better. I'm learning the mechanics of this and I'm bowing, I'm turning, I'm pulling. The same kind of method works for multiple takedowns here, whether it's forward or backwards. So say Bobby's driving into me, the same mechanics are true for a Gari. One leg comes up, I hold on the same way, but I'm rotating. Or if I do ouchi gari, an inside trip, if I feel like, you see how I'm doing the same mechanics, even though it's a inside rather than outside, or an uchimata where, you know, if I'm on the inside here and I'm lifting, do you see how it's like, I'm doing the same mechanics, it's just different rotations, different tie-ups, different scenarios. But if we learn Osoto Gari, the throw we're learning, you'll know all these rather quickly. So it's a good standing place to start, where we're probably the least confident in here. Our horns are locked, but if we understand a few concepts like get them onto you, break their bounce, how to like lift and rotate, you're gonna win that battle, and they're definitely not gonna be comfortable in there. Rather than you've been here a few times now, you kind of get the motion in the ocean right here, right? So now we're gonna kind of clothesline this one. As far as like owning the head and a quick movement. What I like to do is, I'm a lefty, I'll show it left because that's my core competency, and then I'll show it right. So if Bobby reaches his left hand on, I'm gonna come left hand on the wrist, right hand on the elbow. I'm gonna pop it off of me, and I'm gonna bring it to the inside of me. Now I'm gonna be able to hook and rotate at the same time as I pass that elbow by. If you have a gi or a jacket, great. You get to hold that tricep and hold that thing until bah, right? But for now, we're just holding that elbow right up top like an elbow pass. So it's the same movement. I'm hooking in, holding on, turning, bowing, lifting, all the same movement. Any questions? All right, on three, 1, 2, 3. Yes. Good. As far as we got free throws in, but most importantly, no one got hurt. We all learned how to fall. Like that part of it is by far the most important part we did today. Throwing is great, foot sweeping is great, awesome with all the takedowns and the games we did earlier. As far as like understanding the key concepts to what makes a good takedown work. We're not falling first. We're keeping our balance. We're learning to use our body in different segments rather than all as one robotronic unit. That gets you tired and a little bit unathletic if you're just segmented in this rigid way. If you learn to relax your body, you're gonna understand that the worst thing that could happen is you're gonna take a hard fall. If you know how to take a hard fall, what are we scared of? There's really nothing to be scared of now. So now you can go out there relaxed and let technique dictate where things end up rather than strength and force. Because if you have good position, you're gonna negate most of their speed and strength by just understanding those core concepts like C-grip on the shoulder or underhook up high rather than down low. All these little things we were doing today that you might not even realize you were training. So understanding those big picture things and let that trickle into little things that are gonna work in live gameplay, right? Rather than like, okay, I know these 3 moves, how do I integrate them? Keep training those, isolate those moves, practice them, and then you can build setups around them. Then that can infiltrate your style of grappling when takedowns occur. Make sense? Great job, everyone. I was really excited to be here. I'm glad it all went down safely, and you were able to maybe extrapolate a move or two that could work for your live gameplay, as well as in a real case scenario. You know, it's much more efficient to use your legs and hips than your arms for takedowns, especially in the case where we're not, there's no scoreboard, you know? This is a little more real. So there's less risk and more reward for the takedowns you did today than for like, you know, going underneath someone and trying to pick them up over you, right? Where someone sprawls or you end up out of position, even for a moment, it could be that consequences are high. So hopefully I was able to add a little, you know, notch to your belt as far as skill level that you could, you know, use moving forward. But thank you very much for having me, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Let's get a picture.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.